It's me, Duke CT, back once again. Thank you so much for joining me live here on TalkShoe.com. And if you're not listening to me live, you're listening to me on YouTube and Blip.com. Thank you once again. Another thing, first I want to thank, if you all listening to me, this, you have to know and realize I didn't know this was going to happen. I want to say this. I want to thank LC and Tony Helms, Nick Gibson, and TWK, Nick Gertez. These guys will actually let me be a part of Monday Night Riffs. It was really fun. I love being a part of it. Hopefully I'll be a part of it next week. And I am. If I am, hopefully you guys listened. And I hope you guys had some fun listening to me on Monday Night Riffs. And I'm hopefully going to do so again. It was a really fun time. I enjoyed it immensely. And I hope, you know what, it was great. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully LC invites me again. If not, well, hey, I had some good times, and hopefully I can do something like that more in the future. Do something like maybe for TNA or what have you. Anyway, thinking of Monday Night Raw, let's talk about Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw. Here's the thing. Monday Night Raw did not do well with the Labor Day. And some other holiday, it didn't do well. It did not do well in this third hour. There's the real rub about this thing, about the third hour. Guess what the major drop was? The major drop. And let's see. It was, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, the big loser of this was Santino Marella versus Antonio Cesaro for the U.S. Championship, and Heath Slater versus Zack Ryder. Lost, you know how much viewers they lost? 591,000 viewers. They did a 2.534 rating. And you look at that, and you see, hey, wait a minute, these are the young talents and what have you. Why is, you have to wonder why. Why is the WWE losing this much for hours, what have you? Well, I think the reason why is, well, not because they don't like young talent. I mean, new talent, seriously, good young talent, new talent, and they featured well, people would say, they will watch. If you present it well and you're consistent, people will watch and people will tell us, hey, this is actually good, and, well, viewership will continue. But with this 3 hour stuff, I think it's actually more of a detriment to the young guys in the WWE more than a positive, because people are like, I got to watch this, and trust me, here's the funny thing. Not only did that lost a lot of viewers, but the Santino Marella, Antonio Cesaro, and everything, and Heath Slater, Zack Ryder lost 591,000 viewers. The Daniel Bryan and Kane anger management skit, that little thing, lost 310,000 viewers. And the Kane and Bryan hung in the top of the 10 p.m. hour slot, lost 55,000 viewers. And it got viewers for a quarter rating for 3.02. And a bad number for that time slot. And when you look at Monday Night Football coming up near the horizon, and a lot of games that look, you gotta wonder, was it a really good decision to put the WWE into 3 hours? And some say, well, they put in a stupid story. Like, say, guy, a 3 hour thing could work. They just put them in bad storylines, and you know why they put them in these storylines, Kane and Daniel Bryan and all that stuff? The reason why is filler. They know Daniel Bryan is over. They know Daniel Bryan has at least some appeal, and he's turned this whole yes-no thing to something into a positive, including the whole thing about the hug thing, which, yeah, it was still, but I enjoyed it. I actually loved it. I treated WWE hug. Yeah, and I thought it was pretty funny. I think because pro wrestling needs some of that levity, if you will. That needs that bit of a levity. Uh, but that's what the real thing. It's that the levity of it could honestly. I mean, levity is good, but honestly, there has to be some type of a payment to this, and hopefully maybe a tag team or something like that. But I can see why some people won't like this anger management or hugging it out storyline. Because, well, at the end of the day, it's a wrestling show, and you do see promos, you do have weird stuff. It's when you have two guys in the ring hugging instead of wrestling, some people are like, hey, what the hell? Even how good the crowd likes it or not. Yeah, and when you look at this, and I keep seeing this again, I'm like, Daniel Bryan, and it sucks that Daniel Bryan has to be in this position, and he's doing the best he can. It's not his fault or Vince Kane's fault. It is the management's fault. And most importantly, Vince McMahon's fault. He's the guy who still runs the show. He's the guy who still does the 9 to 5 thing. He does all that type of stuff. This is a problem. And it's a problem, is that this 3-hour experiment has failed. I think it has failed, and I don't know how the WWE is going to continue doing this. This 3-hour experiment, this 3-long-hour experiment with this whole, we have to, do all this type of stuff. Like, you have to get, people, the young guys involved. It just seems like no one really wants to see this. No one wants to see guys hugging out. No one wants to see an extra hour of program wrestling. If you really look at it, WWE has, say, 5 hours of free talk programming. That's not counting Superstars, which is on WWE.com, and not counting Saturday Morning Slam, which is just a recap show. And they're going to have another show on Ion Network called WWE Main Event. So when you discount that, you get at least a minimum, at least 5 to 6 hours, 6 to 7 hours of content. I don't know how long my main event is going to be. I think Saturday Morning Slam's like 30 minutes or something, which is fine. That's like, well, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do that. I don't know how they're going to do WWE main event and do all this type of stuff and fit into Raw, SmackDown, which is honestly Raw still have Raw Super Show, which has both Raw and SmackDown guys on it, which again defeats the purpose of a brand. The brand extension, which is not even a thing anymore. They all, excuse me. They all but just killed that brand extension. It just seems to me that WWE really needs to start looking at these other avenues. Maybe they need to have a less but more approach. That is what they need. They need a less but more approach. If they don't get that, well, let's just say it's just going to be oversaturation, and if people are going to be like, can't, they're going to be like, it is. Some people are like, you know what? I'm getting really tired of staying in a position. Heck, when I was riffing, it was like I really could not sit and riff for 3 hours. It's going to get this point of, WWE has to, and personally, I don't really blame WWE for this 3-hour role. I blame USA Network. USA Network is guilty for just oversaturation. They want, they want this stuff. Like, they want Raw for 3 hours and something like that. They can't have a 3 hour. They're going to have to learn, that, 2 hours of Raw is it's going to burn out their viewers. And I'm hopeful hopefully by January, and we'll go back to that 2-hour format, because I don't see the WWE continue this format, because once the Monday night football comes in and just completely annihilates it, which it is. Next week, I can't wait to see the ratings for next week, but I think it's going to be like, heck, I think it's the push of 2 hours is going to come back maybe even sooner than January. I wouldn't be surprised. They might come back if it's getting that bad. They might push that back to December or September, November or December to get back to the 2-hour format. But that's my personal opinion. Anyway, I will be taking a little break. I'll be right back here on Dukect Lounge. Thank you all for joining me. Be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me once again here live on the Dukect Lounge. Thank you so much. And the phone number, as always, to join me, Dukect, is 724-444-7444. Once again, the number is 724-444-7444. The call ID to connect to me and Dukect on TalkShoe.com is 92417. Once again, the call ID is 92417. Anyway, let's get on to other topics. Since last topic we had was Monday Night Raw, and well, it's not really going so well, which it sucks because, you know, there again, I will not be surprised that, again, that the WWE would leave. But something that happened on Raw, when I looked at it, I was like, it was when CM Punk and early parts of Raw, which, and again, Raw was not horrible. Miz actually did a pretty good job commentating, which I think was a good job. I like Miz commentating. But the one thing was Sheamus and CM Punk both times on the mic, he was lost, and it sucked. Miz should not be. Sheamus honestly was just so poorly characterized. He just looked so well. You know what I mean? Just a guy just can't really just. He wasn't in Punk's league. It just really shows that, you know what? That was honestly a really bad idea to honestly try him being witty. He shouldn't be witty. He should be like, you know, Booker say Batista is. Batista was can be witty, but in the end of the day could just beat the living hell out of you. it's just, it bothers me. And you just look at, they just left him go off the woods. I know that segment was not going to be any favors. At least he couldn't save that segment. No one knows they couldn't. And everything else. They couldn't save that segment. And Lord knows, Lord knows, no one can say this. But, I always believe this. I think Paul Heyman had it best. You have to hide someone's weaknesses. The best thing to do is to hide someone's weaknesses. And I'm not saying Sheamus is behind the mic, but you don't put people who is definitely, CM Punk basically blasted him and just he buried the world title, which obviously WWE always buried the world championship. They say it's at number 2, which is which is true. He said the world championship is number 2 to his his WWE title, which is sadly what the pecking order is. To me, the best thing you have to do is you don't put your world champion out there, that sort of thing. Personally, I would have had to see Punk start out the show. Someone like that saying he's the best in the world. George Sheamus should come out and say, you know what? You keep saying you're the best in the world. I haven't fought you yet, fella. How about me and you, champion versus champion? How's that? I think that would have been a little bit better. CM Punk would say, really, you want to help me? Yeah, well, honestly, Raw, this is Raw, a 3-hour spectacular, what have you. This is Monday Raw. You shouldn't be talking, what have you. You should be me and you one-on-one for one champion versus champion, what have you. AJ makes the match, what have you. It's simple, it's better, it makes Sheamus more of a badass. Fans, and when he does leave, CM Punk, he can say, what's up? I mean, just say, okay, you know what? Just prove that you're not really the best in the world. You're not really a champion. Doesn't cut any stupid jokes. Just say, all right, since you want to walk out, I'll just say this. I'm the best in the world, and you're not even close to my league. How's that? Maybe do a Sheamus versus CM Punk storyline down the road. You can actually have seeds down, make the seeds pointed out there. But, that's my personal opinion. But, hey, it would have been a lot better than have Sheamus being a trying to be a crowd-pleasing moron. It's a shame. Anyway, that's my little rant there. Anyway, we're going to take the last little break here, and we'll be talking about, ladies and gentlemen, about 2 networks that are completely defunct, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be talking about that. And we'll be right back here. One network that had a good long run that's going to be, out to pasture, and another one that, never came to be. And, we'll be taking a little break, and we're going to be talking about that here on the Dukect Lounge. Thank you so much. Again, thank you so much for joining me here. We'll be right back after this. And we are back live here on the Dukect Lounge. Thank you so much for joining me here live here on TalkShoe.com. And if you don't listen to me live, I am on Blip.com on my last review of standing. And speaking of which, hope you enjoy my TNX anniversary review. And, well, and hopefully my next review, next great review for last review of standing, the Marine 2, will be up a lot quicker. And then after that, SummerSlam 2012, and then after that, well, going into October, Bound for Glory, See No Evil, and some other special things. Anyway, let's move on to other things, because we're going to be talking about something very interesting. First off, we're going to talk about a network that has, well, been 10 years, ladies and gentlemen. 10 years has been, this network has been, around for, this huge network, this video game network, G4. G4 has been around since 2002. And I started watching it around 2002, 2003. I really started watching in 2003. And I started to actually like the shows up here. You had Judgment Day, G4TV.com, Pulse, that news show. I actually watched a bit of Attack the Show, Portal, that sort of stuff. I actually watched a lot of that, the old stuff. Some of the new stuff when Tech TV came over, X-Play, that sort of thing. It was actually pretty good. I really liked a good network. It was actually a really fun, interesting network. But, well, as like everything else, good things must come to an end. The network really started trying to be really, basically trying so hard to be expected. He tried to get more of the male audience. Like, they started canceling shows, stuff like, other shows like Judgment Day or, the Electric Playground, which is another good show. All these other interesting shows that used to be on there just got replaced with Ninja Warrior, which honestly, Ninja Warrior, I like Ninja Warrior, which is a good show, but there are also other useless shows. For example, reruns of Lost, which I didn't really watch. I mean, I like Lost, but, didn't really care for it. Fastlane. Yeah, I didn't watch Fastlane. Let's see, Cops Marathons, which, again, I didn't really care for Cop Marathons. Actually, I didn't really care for them. Not at all. It was just really nobody cared for it. And the writing was on the wall when you basically had Adam Sessler leave the network, and you have Kevin Pereira and Oliver Moon. And not only that, they lost some very good hosts of what have you, with people like Kevin Pereira, Olivia Moon from Attack the Show, and they actually lost American Ninja Warriors. So, honestly, yeah, they did lose a lot of shows. But G4 is getting supposedly rebranded to something of a TV version of GQ, which, honestly, I don't really care for GQ, but it basically means the end, because NBC Universal, well, they're trying to rebrand it, and I don't think most people are going to care, because I'm a DirecTV subscriber, what have you. And a couple years ago, DirecTV kicked out G4 because it was the most lowest-rated television network on their service. So, I mean, heck, the Golf Network, History. I think the Music Channel's got better ratings than what they had at G4. It was like a 0.1. It was just not even getting any type of feedback whatsoever. No one really cared. And so they cut it off, and I never really watched G4 or anything else since. In fact, I stopped watching G4, around 2007. I sometimes got a glimpse of it sometimes, but I didn't really care for it. And you have to wonder, well, speaking of NBC Universal, they well, guess what? They'll actually, since NBC Universal and everything else, they're partners with another thing that's completely close to the WWE, close to what have you, is the WWE. I totally messed up that segue, but hey, being live is, well, awesome. But anyway, I'm getting back to this point. I'm talking about another network that, honestly, speaking of networks and things like that, WWE Network, the network that was so hyped up with that stupid commercial, with that stupid dubstep thing, that and all that stuff. That's my impersonation of dubstep. That's just awesome. But dubstep, well, and dubstep and all can save this thing because, well, the WWE Network has been put on hold indefinitely. This is from WrestleZone.com. It says WrestleZone.com has learned today that the plans for the WWE Network has been put on hold indefinitely. At this point, the network hasn't a single deal signed with cable providers. And while the WWE was considering making a network pay channel similar to HBO, internal studies have shown less than 100,000 homes will be willing to pay a monthly fee. Additionally, WrestleZone has learned through sources close to the head of the HR department and the VP of programming of the WWE that all hiring for the network has been frozen. In fact, we have been told any new hires that remain from the network are in jeopardy of being terminated. Initially, the launch was pushed to November of this year, then February 2013, but as of this writing, the network has not gone forward at all. We've been told that WWE failed to realize what a big onset and investment in the network would be, and NBC Universal was going to sell WWE part of its Universal HD channel, and the WWE balked and wanted its own network. Now, with no infrastructure set up at all, we've been told the network would be virtually impossible to create in 6 to 12 months. So, thanks to their own hubris, WWE, who just wanted to, they kicked and screamed and did everything else. Oh, we have a guest here. What's up, guest? Type in. What have you. Want to see what's up. Hopefully you're liking the show. Anyway. Seems that WWE has, well, once again, put themselves into a very, very bad situation. A situation that, well, has been, you know what, everyone can say, if I told you so, well, it looked like a mistake. When I was on the program, I said maybe this network could be a good idea. A lot of people said, well, they told a lot of people talk to WWE, they can't do this, and look like the naysayers were right. And I wasn't on the naysayers. I was one of the foolish people. You just dropped in, and you want to know what the topic is? WWE Network. I'm talking about the WWE Network, and okay, the WWE Network, and I want to get your thoughts on it. If you want to have thoughts on it, guest too. Do you mind being called guest too? By the way, if you want to call in, the number is 724-444-7444. Once again, number is 724-444-7444. Oh, you don't want to call in. It's like you don't mind. So you just mind? Do you want to call in? Yes, no, or maybe. Again, if you want to call in, 724-444-7444. Dial number is 724-444-7444, and the call ID is 92417. If you have the TalkShoe app Pro 2.0, you can just click shoe phone, you can just connect if you have a microphone. Okay, guest two, since you don't mind being called guest two. Anyway, since the WWE Network, and well, I mean, it's amazing, but WWE, I mean, I thought this could have worked. I mean, you have a lot of talent. I mean, I actually thought maybe this could have worked, but then again, when you look at other networks, like, for example, the Oprah Winfrey Network, and with a lot of planning and everything else, that network is struggling. That thing is really, everything else. Just surfing. Cool. Anyway, thanks for joining. Thanks for getting in on the show, by the way. I mean, the Oprah Winfrey Network, with all of her resources and everything else, her network is not doing so well. And when you look at the everything else they did, and they have invested millions in this network project. I mean, they actually shot a show, Legends House, which, again, this is going to probably, at the end of the day, it's going to be on the WWE's YouTube channel. I will have you. This is going to really be, I've seen big failures, but I wonder how much money they have invested into this. I wonder, I mean, this is probably one of the most hugest, probably one of the biggest things that WWE has failed in. This could be right next to the XFL level bad, people. This could be XFL level bad, what the WWE network. It's a shame, because I do think I would like to have a wrestling network. I know someone in the UK there actually was a wrestling network or some type of HD channel. I think it was the Fight channel. I really would love something like that, and I really wish something. I mean, I think it's going to be, it really sucks. But this was, and the thing is, which was, if this is really true, that they did not know what the onset, because I actually thought the WWE would have this type of pre-plan, like, okay, this is not what's a huge responsibility, but if it comes out like it was true, what it says that they've been told that WWE failed to realize what a big onset and investment the network could be, what would be a huge WWE network, then they really are full of idiots. They are full of idiots, because it's a shame, because when you look at all the stuff they had, the huge library, the ideas of new shows, it really is something that they could have done better. This is something really, something that I really thought they could do a lot better than someone that, oh man, WWE Network. Maybe it could have done something interesting with it. But, well, again, looks like the WWE Network is going to be right up there with the XFL, the Bodybuilding Federation Vince McMahon had, WWE Studios, which I'm going to get to in my last review show, with films like, did great films like See No Evil and Marines, The Marine and Marine 2, that what have you. They just can't get out of their own way. And if they did not expect, did they expect it? Wow. Again, yes, I knew. I used to watch the WWF before it was over to WWE. I get a lot of new guys coming in, or just old guys, would say I used to watch, which again, it just is a problem. I mean, I know, I stopped watching for a bit, but when I do watch WWE, it's more of frustration. And when you do these pointless endeavors, they waste all this money, but yet, they waste all this. They have these big grand ideas, but with no real planning behind them. I mean, they have all the hype and hope and doing everything else. They try to do all this other stuff outside the wrestling business, and even this, which was supposedly inside the pro wrestling, it was really, it was still tangential. They had all this stuff, and they're gonna have all these tapes, they have all these other things, that sort of thing. But it is a shame that the WWE can't really get out of its own way. And then hopefully with Triple H taking over, which I think he is, like maybe the next 4 or 5 years, it's a WWE doesn't really get their ship together. Don't get their crap together. They don't get the ship righted around. Their ship righted around. I just think they're going to be heading the same way of the AWA, WCW, and all the failed businesses and for wrestling and everything else. Anyway, thank you so much for people for listening. Actually, I'm ending the show right now. Good luck to me. Good luck to you, sir. Anyway, this is actually ending the show right now. Thank you so much once again. That's ironic. He's actually had to leave. What have you? Oh, Bernard. Oh, Bernard, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Bernard. Oh, well, Bernard here. He's actually here, but oh man, thank you so much for joining me. But Bernard, if you're here, and everything else, I'm actually gonna end the show. So you came a bit late. Sorry for that, but you can listen to the show on YouTube and Blip, or you can actually listen to this here on TalkShoe.com. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you very much for being here live, and hopefully, Bernard, you can subscribe. Hit the subscribe and like this call. You can listen to see that this show comes on every night, every time at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and hopefully you won't miss anything. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. This is Dukect here. Peace and love. I'll see y'all when I see y'all later.